Welcome to Vedic Mathematics Initiation and Exposure classes. Sadhkas, students, teachers and scholars are welcome. Let us open a new page in our notebook. Let us mention that today our focus is upon the text of Shloka 1. This text is the basic text in the sense that the format beneath it, its values, features, and the format as such is the foundation format upon which the entire structure of the Lagd Jyotish Vedanga, both of the Yajurved and Rigved, have been structured. The entire scripture Lagd Jyotish Vedanga in its both forms as Rigved and Yajurved Jyotish Vedangas is structured upon the foundation of the features, values and format of Shloka 1. Therefore, let us first of all be through this text. Let us be intimate with this text. By being intimate with this text would mean that first of all let us take this entire text as a single unit. Then let us take it that it is of two parts, the first part of the text and the second part of the text. Therefore, let us note down, initially we are taking the whole text as a unit. Thereafter, we are taking this unit being of two parts, first part and the second part. Then we will be having a close intimacy with both these parts. Let us begin with the first part. By the first part as it is will help us appreciate that there are 5 basic formulations, namely Panch, Sanvatsar, Yug, Adhyaksh and Prajapati. These 5 basic formulations have been availed for the composition of the first part of this particular text. These 5 formulations, first of all, shall be visited as in terms of their simple rendering. Panch has a simple rendering 5, Sanvatsar has simple rendering as a year, Yug is a unit, a phase, a phenomenon, creation phenomenon which is being approached and to be worked out. And then Adhyaksh is the presiding deity, and then Prajapati is one who is sustaining, who has the responsibilities of sustaining this particular creation, how this creation is being sustained. Then let us have a technical meanings approach. Now 5 means a 5 space, year means a revolution of the earth around the sun. One revolution of earth around the sun makes a year. A yug means a cyclic unit, which is a set of 5 years, means 5 revolutions of the earth around the sun is being taken as a yug, as a phenomenon unit. Then is how this phenomenon in its present form is being presided over, and the presiding deity is Prajapati, a Lord Brahma. Therefore, let us here make a note that Lord Brahma, four-head Lord, the overlord of real 4 space, is the Prajapati. This will help us reach at the representative regular body of 4 space, means hypercube 4, a 4-head Lord, a 4 space. Each head is having pair of eyes, therefore it is of spatial dimensional order. Then its Lord sits upon lotus seat of 8 petals. There is solid boundary of 8 solids, 8 components, and within the cavity of the heart of Lord Brahma is the seat of transcendental Lord, Lord Shiv. Therefore 5 space is playing the role of the origin. 2, 3, 4 and 5 is the fourfold manifestation layer. It is this manifestation layer which is ultimately sustaining the whole existence phenomenon. After that, let us have a shift ahead. Let us proceed ahead to the second part. And the second part, text as it is leading us to 8 basic formulations. Din means day, Ritu means season, Ans mean a hemisphere, Mas means a month, then Ang means the parts, Parnabhave means the life existence phenomenon, Sir means the Sheesh means head, Suchi means the purity, sublime form in which this existence phenomenon is happening. Therefore, these 13 formulations as such are being availed for the features, values and format of text 1, of Shloka 1, and along this format is to be built the superstructure, the entire superstructure is to be built thereupon. Now, after this, let us try to reach at the TCV values of these formulations. While we will be having a TCV values of these formulations, we will see that the text as it is composed will be bringing us portions like mayam as well, which we are not taking it as one of the formulation as such. However, it is the most basic, ultimate formulation, mayam. Here it takes us to May, and when we will be coming to the Surya Siddhant, the basic book of applied values formulations of Vedic astronomy, then we will see that May was the first who had been bestowed the knowledge of our solar universe straight by the sun. We will be reaching here subsequently. For the present, we are not focusing upon this aspect as such. We are not taking it as a formulation. However, when we will be reaching at the TCV values, transcendental code values of the text, of the formulations individually, also as for the text as a whole. Therefore, note down that the most blissful exercise for us, for the students of Vedic mathematics, science and technology, having urged to glimpse and imbibe the values, features and format of the Vedic astronomy as it is preserved by the Lagda Jyotish Vedanga, then let us have a expression of this particular text letter wise, like the punch formulations will be leading us to as many as 5 letters. Like that, from this first letter to the last letter, let us tabulate them. It will be taken as the most blissful exercise, and it is in terms of this exercise that we will be intimately face to face with how the values, features and format of the Vedic astronomy as is being preserved by the Lagda Jyotish Vedanga, as is being structured by the Lagda Jyotish Vedanga, we will be having intimate with these values only by, first of all, let us tabulate this text letter wise. Now, once we will be saying the formulation punch, it will be taking us to 5 letters, and then let us tabulate the TCV values of these 5 letters. We will see that the first letter Pa is having a TC value 5, second letter, first vowel is having value 1, then this letter, the fifth letter of the second row of the Varga consonant is having a value 6, Cha, the first letter of the second row of Varga consonant have value 2 and first value 1. Like that, the formulation punch will be leading us to value 15. Now 5, 6, 12, 14 and 15. Therefore, our exercise is to be that we are chasing the text letter wise, like the punch formulation is being chased as Pa, A, Nya, Cha and 5 letters. There is an array of 5 letters, and this array of 5 letters is accepting the array of these values of summation value 15. So we have seen this formulation is having simple rendering as value 5. However, it is having transcendental code value 15. So what is the relationship of 5 and 15? It is going to be the feature in terms of which we will be ultimately having a glimpse of the underneath format. So to reach at the underneath format, we have to avail these values, the TCV values, but we will be coming to it subsequently. First of all, let us sequentially reach at the arrangement of sequential arrangement of the letters in this particular shloka's text, and simultaneously we have to tabulate these values. These tables, when we'll reach, we'll see their second formulation, Sanvan Star. This value Sanvan Star is having the letters as have been tabulated above. So let us in our notebook reach at letter-wise arrangement of the formulation Sanvan Star, and let us write down those letters, and beneath let us in the second column let us write down the TCV values. We'll see that the formulation Sanvan Star as such is a composition of how many? Say it is the 6th letter, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th. So the total letters of both the formulation Panch and Sanvan Star are going to be 15. So we had first of all taken the first formulation Panch. We had approached it, reached at its internal organization by having a sequential chase of its 5 letters. Then the second formulation Sanvan Star, and then in continuity when we chased ahead the arrangement of the formulation Sanvan Star together with the formulation Panch, we had seen that it is an array of 15 letters. These 15 letters are ultimately leading us to value 15 for the first formulation and 33 for the second formulation, and these together lead us to value 48. We can have a pause here and note down that value 15 as it is of the formation 2 into 3 into 5, which is the equal to the dimensional frame of a 5 space. 5 space is having 3 space as a dimension and 1 space as a dimension of dimension, and value of the dimensional frame comes to 15. So one may have a pause here and have a revisit and see how this first formulation is of 5 letters but TC value is 15. Both these formulations are having 15 letters, but the value comes to be 48, and we know value 48 is equal to 2 into 4 into 6. As such, it is taking us to 6 space with 4 space as its dimension and 2 space as its dimension of dimension. This way we see that the organization, internal organization, values and features along the format beneath is sequentially taking us from 5 space to 6 space. We know 5 space means the 5th element means Akash, while this next element, 6th element, we know is a Surya. Therefore, this format beneath as it is sequentially taking us to from 5 space to the 6 space, means we are reaching from 5th element Akash and we are reaching at a Surya, a 6th element. Therefore, it is 5 space to 6 space is which is going to be the reach. It is this reach which is being worked out. Then we know ahead is a Mayam. This formulation as such we are not taking it here, but ultimately we will see that this is the formulation which is leading. This is of again of 5 letters. However, the TCV value of these 5 letters is 21. It is this value 21 which will help us appreciate that it is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. It is equal to the value of the Sthapatya miring rod of interval, square, cube and hypercubes 4, 5 and 6. So it is a Sthapatyamay ring rod. From here we will see that these formulations, Panch, Sanvatsaram and Mayam, these as these are sequentially taking us from fifth element Akash Tattva to the Surya, and this chase, this flow, this translation, this increase and this reach is going to be along a Sthapatyamay ring rod. One may further have a pause here and see that value 15, value 33, value 21 is taking us to value 69. Value 69 as it is, we know, is equal to 3 into 23, and value 23 we know is equal to 3 plus 5 plus 3 into 5. It is, we know, 5 space, 3 space is a dimension. So the superimposition of a solar dimension upon 5 space domain within a solar dimensional frame. So this setup is taking us value 23, and we know 5 space is a solar dimensional frame, therefore this value is available along all the 3 dimensions. It is this value, it is this feature, it is this attainment which deserves to be imbibed well. One shall be very gentle, very slow, sequential, and have a step-by-step chase, letter by letter chase is to be had of Panch Sanvatsar Mayam. Panch Sanvatsar Mayam is the combined formulation which is integrating the values, integrating the features, and leading at the format beneath. This format beneath, this formulation, this sequential formulation, this sequential integration of the formulation, this simultaneous manifestation process, this transition, sequential transition, and it is this attainment which is to be imbibed by the sadhakas. Sadhakas shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be sequentially with the internal organization of the text. So the formulation Panch as it is deserves to be chased in 5 sequential steps, as 5 sequential steps leading us to value 15, and it will be again that way bring us face to face with the setup of 5 space transcendental domain which is accepting a dimensional frame, solid dimensional frame of 5 dimensions. Now this, when a step ahead will be taken up by Sanvatsar Mayam, then it ultimately have a reach firstly from 15 to 33 and then further 21 taking us to 29. So let us have a pause and make note down. 15 takes us to solid dimensional frame of 5 dimensions. Then 33 takes us to a split of a 3-dimensional frame into a pair of 3-dimensional frames of half dimensions. It is this phenomenon, it is this step, it is this chase which deserves to be comprehended well. One shall make a specific note as the reach from 15 to 33 in fact would mean a working with a solid dimension frame of 5 solid dimensions, and further this solid dimensional frame means this 3-dimensional frame will split into a pair of 3-dimensional frames of half dimensions. It is this split of a 3-dimensional frame into a pair of 3-dimensional frames of half dimensions which is the phenomenon, which is the value, which is the Vedic mathematical process. It is the system, it is the step, it is the processing, it is the happening, and this happening is parallel to the real happening in reality. It is this happening in reality is of our solar universe. It is the happening of how the earth is revolving around itself, and simultaneously it is also revolving around the sun. In this way there happens to be a remanifestation journey of the space around the sun, and this space around the sun as it is will inherently have this phase steps. These phase steps as these are, these internal features as these are, these values as these are, this sequential integration of the format as it is deserves to be comprehended well. It is with this comprehension, for further comprehension, one can have a pause let us write down the numbers 1 to 18 and see the factors here will take us to 33, which will be equal to 15 plus 18. Let us see value 18 is a value which is of 3, 4, 5, 6, a fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube phi. Have a pause, see how the 5-dimensional space, 5-space domain within a solid dimensional frame of 5 solid dimensions is having structural features that the solid dimension, means the 3-dimensional frame of 3 dimensions, splits into a setup of a pair of 3-dimensional frames of half dimensions. It is this split which ultimately help us appreciate how our solar universe is splitting into a northern hemisphere and a southern hemisphere. So northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere set up as such, and it's split as a pair of parts and still as integrated as a whole. So this as a 1 and this as a 2 is the feature. It is this feature in terms of which we will be helping to have appreciation as to how this particular text, which as is an integrated whole, but it is also a setup of a pair of parts. So it accepts a value 1 and it also accepts a value 2. It is this feature which inherently is helping us see and have a reach this. Now then we'll go a step ahead and let us see that the formulation yug will be taking us to value 8. We know that our 3-dimensional frame is as such is splitting the space into 8 octants. Now these 8 octants, when are presided over, it takes us the total value 27. It is this value 27 of Adhyaksh takes us 3 raised to power 3. One have a pause here and take note that 8 takes us to value 2 raised to power 3, while 27 takes us to value 3 raised to power 3. So this internal organization features leading to synthetic setup of a manifestation format which had taken from Akash Tattva 5-space domain to Surya 6-space domain, and in the process there had been a split for a 3-dimensional frame, and it is this split which has been sequentially taking us to from initial 1 space as a dimension 1 cube, then we'll reach at 2 cube as a yuga, then we reach at 3 cube. Now at this reach 1 cube, 2 cube and 3 cube, this structure is the basis or the features of this format, and these are the formats which are flowing from within. These formats as these are flowing within will at a further step as Prajapati will take us to 25. We know 25 is equal to 5 square. Further we know 25 is the TCV value of formulation Vishnu, the overlord of 6 space. Further we know value 25 is equal to 2 into 12 plus 1. So it is hypercube 12 whose versions are 25. And 12 we know is the TC value of Shiv, Lord, Transcendental Lord, the overlord of 5 space. So see here how sequentially these values are internally unfolding themselves, and this unfoldment process at each steps deserves to be chased and to be imbibed. And we know it is Prajapatin, then value is 9, and we know 9 is equal to 3 square. So beautifully say 5 square and then leading to 3 square. It is this feature, it is this blissful feature, it is this value, it is this format, it is this internal process, it is this internal organization of the first part of the text. So first part of the text as it is deserves to be chased letter by letter by TCV values, then each formulation be taken as a complete in itself. Now this formulation and the TCV values when are to be taken in continuity for integration transition for the next formulation Sanvanstaram, then we can see how the internally the organization format is sequentially transforming from the 5-space setup to a 6-space setup, and how in the process we have seen there is being availed a Sthapatyamay ring rod, and how the chase along the Sthapatyamay ring rod is ultimately helping us reach at the values of a unit, and one is being chased as 8, and 8 we know is equal to 8, and 8 we know is equal to 2 raised to 3. So how internally, sequentially, step by step, this format is unfolding itself. It is this unfolding process of the format which further from 1 raised to 3 to 2 raised to 3 is taking to 3 raised to 3. And we know this 27 as dimension is taking us, domain is taking us 25, and 25 is equal to 5 square, and it further at a step is taking to 3 square. These steps are very large in number. These have to be very large, as ultimately it is upon this format the whole of the superstructure of the entire values of the Vedic astronomy are being chased. Therefore, sadhakas shall sit comfortably, permit the transcending mind to be face to face with these internal organization format features of this particular text. Each letter is a specific domain. Each letter has a value. Value has a parallel space. Space has a space content. Space content has manifestation. Manifestation requires a dimensional frame, and then the dimensional frames accepts a split. Dimensional frames also accept a synthesis. So this reach is a very long reach. Therefore, the sadhakas shall be very slow, very gentle, very sincere, and consciously one is to have a reach from first step to the next step. A reach from first letter to the next letter is be taken as a very big mathematical step. A chase from the format features and value of first letter to the format features and values of the second letters is a big mathematical domain. There are very large number of mathematical values, and these mathematical values as artifices of numbers are availing the geometric formats. Because it is here the Sankhya and Yoga are complementing and supplementing each other. One can make a note that Sankhya avails artifices of numbers but presumes the dimensional frames. However, the Yoga Nishtha avails the dimensional frames but presumes the existence of the artifices of number. Therefore, the artifices of numbers and the dimensional frames are complementing, supplementing each other. Therefore, this process steps, the mathematics of the Jyotish Vedanga are the artifices, values and formats of Jyoti. Jyoti would mean that we would be having a light, a Prakash. From Prakash we will reach to a Tej. From Tej we will reach to a Jyoti, and this Jyoti is ultimately is to take us to Brahm Jyoti. Therefore, this unfolding process of the first part of the Shloka 1 is a very big independent mathematical domain. Let us make a note down that the students fulfilled with the intensity of urge to be face to face with the format, features and values of the Vedic astronomy as it is preserved in the Lagat Jyotish Vedanga shall approach first part of the text of Shloka 1 as a set of 5 formulations. But however, as we have seen, these 5 formulations are also inherently availing another formulation, Mayam. Therefore, how this text, this first part of Shloka 1, which is availing a format of 5 formulations but is inherently transiting to the 6th formulation. And this formulation, 6th formulation, Mayam, May. Therefore, those students, when we will proceed further, when we will be taking up the applied values of this particular format, and when we will reaching a Surya Siddhant. So in Surya Siddhant, at the very beginning, it is being made clear that this knowledge, this enlightenment of this Surya Siddhant is the knowledge which was originally imparted by the sun Surya himself to May. So May is a personified, this personification of May is to be appreciated, to be comprehended, to be imbibed. It is only by imbibing it we will be in a position to be face to face with the blissful values, features and formats of the Lagda Jyotish Vedanga. Lagda Jyotish Vedanga as it is approaching solar universe, taking it to be that Surya is, sun is in a static state, and the space around this sixth space, around this sun, is being worked out as the translation path of the earth. Now the translation path of the earth of revolution around the sun is the path of Akash Tattva. This Akash Tattva is the fifth element. It is this fifth element, it is a transcendental domain. It is a five-space domain. Therefore, five-space content as Akash Tattva, five-space content as Akash Tattva is manifesting a translation path for the earth. This translation path is of the format, features and values of the transcendental boundary of sixth space. Therefore, it is this five-space content manifestation as a boundary of the Surya is making it that our solar universe is to be taken as fulfilled with five-space content. Therefore, it is five-space content which is enveloping a Surya, making Surya in a static state. So, Surya in a static state is being chased. However, this Panch Sanvatsar Mayam would mean that from here we have to transit and transform to the dynamic state of a Surya. Therefore, this format of Jyotish Vedanta as it is, while is availing the static state of a Surya. However, this static state format is actually being taken as a foundation for transition from the static state of the sun to the dynamic state of the sun. That means a step ahead when the superstructure of the Vedic astronomy is going to be built. This superstructure of the Vedic astronomy built upon the format of the Jyotish Vedanta, Lagat Jyotish Vedanta, then it would mean that the initial translation path of the earth around the sun is going to be the five-space content manifesting as boundary of six space. However, a step ahead, there is going to be a phase and stage when the Surya will transit and transform from its static state to its dynamic state. It is this reach from the static state to the dynamic state which is going to be the ultimate full structure of Vedic astronomy built upon the format, foundational format of the organization format features of the text of Lagda Jyotish Vedanga. And this phenomenon is as such today is being focused only as per the values of first part of the text of Shloka 1. We will be coming to the second part subsequently at the next time in the next lesson. But here for the present we are focusing ourselves only upon the format, features and values of the first part of the text of Shloka 1. So here when we are focusing upon these features, then the formulation Parjapatim, this Parjapatim would mean that we are inviting, bringing in, availing the format features of Lord Brahma, Creator the Supreme. We have to have a revisit to the features of the idol of Lord Brahma. The idol of Lord Brahma is of the features that it is a four-head Lord. Each head is having a pair of eyes, and Lord sits upon the lotus seat of 8 petals, and within the cavity of heart of Lord Brahma is the seat of the transcendental Lord. Therefore, we as students, as sadhakas, are in fact going into a Dahar Akash, the space within the heart. The space within the heart would means a space at the origin of a four space. Therefore, this chase of this format of the Jyotish Vedanta in fact is going to be the chase of a space within a four space domain. So four space domain space as such is providing us the values of the format. Now Dahar Akash, the space within the heart. The space within the heart would mean a four space, and this four space is enveloping the transcendental origin. Now this transcendental origin is to be chased. So the Jyotish Vedanta is chasing, is availing, is utilizing, is going to be face to face with it and making the whole superstructure upon the five space in the role of a origin. So let us have a pause. Let us revisit. Earth revolution path is the Akash Tattva, means the five space content as it manifests and envelops the six space makes the translation path of the earth. Now this five space as it is, five space content as it is being regulated by the Prajapati, means the creator, the supreme, means the Lord Brahma, the overlord of a four space. Now four space is having five space in the role of a origin. Therefore the Prajapati, Lord Brahma, is regulating, channelizing, systematizing, making it a lively phenomenon of the five space by having it in the role and place of the origin of a four space. So ultimately it comes to be that the format of Jyotish Vedanta, Lagda Jyotish Vedanta, is the format of the values, features of five space in the role of origin of a four space. Now five space in the role of origin of a four space itself is having six space as its base. Now six space as a base would mean that six space is being taken in a static state. Therefore a transcendence from the transcendental origin of the creator's space along a self-referral base. Let us have a pause. Let us make it specific that the values, features and format of the part 1 of the text of Shloka 1 of Lagda Jyotish Vedanga leads us to that the format which is being worked out, format which is going to be availed, format along which the whole superstructure is going to be built is the format in the form of five space playing the role of an origin of a four space, and there happens a transcendence. It is this transcendence at the transcendental origin of a four space will be taking us up till six space as a base. So at six space base would means at a static state of a six space there is going to be a transcendental boundary. Five space in the role of an origin is having a fixation, and it is this coordination of the origin of a four space with the origin of a six space. It is this coordination which will be making an axis, and it is this revolution of the origin of four space around the six space at a base will make a translation of the earth around its own axis. So the revolution of the earth around its axis is going to be around a axis with one end at the center of the creator's space and another end at the center of the self-referral base. Now it is this axis around which the earth would be revolving, and simultaneously the origin will be having a revolution of its base. So this motion of the earth around the sun, 6 space, and motion of the earth around the axis are the two basic revolutions. These two basic revolutions are to be worked out, and in fact are being worked out by the Lagad Jyotish Vedanga. Lagad Jyotish Vedanga is having a Kal Purush personified time being of a unit of 5 years revolution. Therefore 5 revolutions of the earth around the sun as such are being taken as a single unit. Now this personification of the time, this personification of the May, who is a direct recipient of a knowledge from the sun, in terms of this recipient root, we will be actually having the final working calculations as are preserved and are available to us as a Surya Siddhant. So reach from Lagad Jyotish Vedanga to Surya Siddhant is going to be a big step. However, for the initial initiation, for initial exposure, for initial insight, for initial enlightenment, we have to focus upon the format of the Lagad Jyotish Vedanga. Lagad Jyotish Vedanga is laying down the initial features of the Vedic astronomy. These initial features are being preserved as first part of the Shloka 1 of the Lagad Jyotish Vedanga. This first part of the Jyotish Vedanga, first part of the first Shloka of Jyotish Vedanga, as a setup of 5 formulations, together with the end reach to the 6th formulation as Mayam, and these setup leading us to the value 15 for Panch, 33 for the Sanvatsar, and 21 for the Mayam. So these 15, 33 and 21, these triple values, 15 equal to the value of the dimensional frame of 5 space, 33 equal to the value of the split of a 3-dimensional frame into a pair of 3-dimensional frames, and value 21 as a value of the Sthapatya miring rod as a synthetic setup of hypercubes 1 to 6, the representative regular bodies of 1 to 6 space. With these values, with these 3 phases, with these 5 formulations, with the emergence of the ultimate 6th formulation Mayam, and May as a personified person, recipient of the knowledge of straight from the sun. So Surya straightway imparting a knowledge to May. So let us see the formulation May is of a TCV value 12. Therefore, this May value 12, which is equal to the value of a Shiv, which is also a value equal to a Yog. So it is this value which is also taking us to a raised to power 6 is to 12 b raised to power 5. Therefore, this value 12 as it is, so the personification May as it is will be amounting to the sun as Surya 6 space is directly imparting a knowledge, its features, its values to its transcendental boundary, means to the Akash Tattva. So all the values from the sun through its rays as a Prakash, as a light, as a Tej, as a Agni, and as a Jyoti. So the light, so the fluorescence the transcendental, the self-referral values flowing within the rays of the sun in the initial stage of a prakash of value 13, and then transiting and transforming into a tej of value 15, and then transiting and reaching into a value jyoti of value 18, and then becoming a Brahma Jyoti, becoming a value 46, which is equal to 23 plus 23, and further we know 46 is having a reflection pair with a minus 46, and minus 46 is a reflection pair with 64, and this is taking us to from minus 46 to 64. This is 11 steps long transcendence along the format of a transcendental domain, means of the format of 5 space. Therefore, all these features, all these values are inherently flowing from within the formulations of the first part of the shloka of the Lagdu Jyotish Vedanga. Therefore, let us chase these letter-wise, let us chase these transcendental code-wise, let us chase these formulation-wise, let us chase these features-wise, let us chase these format-wise, let us chase these as internal integration, transition, transformation, process, mathematics, working, flowing within these formulations and within these texts. It is by this chase that we will be in a position to be face to face with it. We will be acquiring the required insight. We will be attaining the appropriate enlightenment. It is with this enlightenment, it is with this insight that we will be in a position to have imbibing of these values and features. Therefore, this phenomenon, as it is sequentially unfolding, it is a parallel to the unfolding process of our intelligence itself. Therefore, our intelligence, which gets into a mental stagnation states because of 3-space content as a linear order, because of a 4-space content as a spatial order. So we have to transcend from both this linear and spatial orders, and we have to reach a solid order. It is this solid order in terms of which we will be entering the transcendental domain. Once we will be entering the transcendental domain, then we will be in a position to see how the 5-space Akash Tattva is helping us have a chase parallel to the translation path of the earth around its own axis as well as around the sun. And before we part, let us again have a focus upon the formulation Akash Tattva. The formulation Akash Tattva is leading us to value 8 plus 21 is equal to 29, which is the value of the domain split, which is the value of a Brahma, it is the value of a Visport, it is the value of Vyanjan, the value of first Prakriti, it is the value of Mandal, and this value 21, when takes to 31, it becomes the value of a Yajurved. So this way we will be reaching at the format of the Lagdu Jyotish Vedanga. Once we are face to face with these values, then only we will be in a position to work out the Vedic astronomy, which ultimately is to be of the following 7 steps. These steps are going to be Prithvi, then Apa, Agni, Vayu, Akash, Surya, and Dhruv, total leading to value 100. That is this value 100 which ultimately help us see that when this cycle is taken and broken, it will taking us to 101 steps, and these 100 steps we are going to be the 101 branches of the Yajurved. So this way the first part of Shloka 1 of Jyotish Vedanga is inherently having unfolding process for the ultimate Vedic format chase of the lively phenomenon of existence of our solar universe. And we have to be face to face with it, we have to imbibe it, and it is only by imbibing it we will be in a position to visualize and be face to face with the real superstructure of the Vedic astronomy being built upon this format. So tomorrow we will be taking up second part of the Shloka 1 of the Lagd Jyotish Vedang. Thank you very much.